Hey guys, Positive here, and welcome to my top 5 list of things that noobs do that you should probably stop doing. Now, so fair warning here, I'm going to be slaying a lot of sacred cows in this video, especially in the top 3. So, I'm going to make you question your entire belief in this game, and you should be ready for it. And also, you're probably going to rage at me in the comments below, but that's okay, hear me out. And so I guess without much further ado, we'll get started with number 5. So the first thing on this list at number 5 is abusing sniper mode. So a lot of people seem to suffer from this issue. I've seen a lot of replays, and a common thing I've noticed is a lot of kind of subpar players are just constantly in sniper mode, all the time. It's actually ridiculous. So I got a little bit of a replay to just demonstrate what I mean. This is my replay. It's a little exaggerated, but you'll get the point. It seems like the first thing some people do is they just go into sniper mode the very first chance they get, and they just do everything in sniper mode. When you're in sniper mode, your situational awareness just goes to crap. So if you ever complain that, oh, my problem is I don't have enough situational awareness, it's not that you don't look at your minimap enough, it's probably that you're in sniper mode way too often. Anytime you take a shot, you should come out of sniper mode instead of doing this. So in this replay, it's kind of like a meme almost, where I'm being way too much in sniper mode. But you can see when you're in sniper mode, if you look at the minimap, there's actually some tanks on my left side. But how are you going to notice that when you're in sniper mode? How are you going to see the different lanes of fire that the enemy actually has on you when you're constantly in sniper mode going for that one guy? And you can see you just get shot in the side by that 183 with Hesh. And you get 2 shots out and it's back to the garage. And that's basically what happens when you're constantly in sniper mode. So, on to number 4. Coming at number 4, we have raging about teams, noobs, etc. So I don't actually have any gameplay footage for this, so I just have a couple memes for this section. But basically oh my god, everyone in this game is constantly complaining about noobs, their teammates, etc. It's extremely toxic, and it's also just a bad mindset. I've said this before, but in general, you can probably win 65 to 70% of your games if you play perfectly when solo, even more when you're platoon. So in general, if you're losing, it's probably your fault. So you really shouldn't be whining about what your teammates could be doing better. You should be whining about what you could be doing better. And also, I've said this before again, but if there's more noobs, it means you should be winning more battles. And in general, it's just a toxic thing to do. We know, I have to say 50% of toxicity just comes from people constantly raging about noobs. And my experience is, in general, if you're the one raging over teams, it's probably you that's the noob. So, get good. And so now we get into the more controversial ones. So, number 3 is capping bases in Supremacy. I can't tell you how many times I've had people just constantly whine about, oh yeah, you gotta win by capping bases in Supremacy mode. It's... No, Carl, I'm sorry, but when's the last time you've actually lost a Supremacy game because the enemy capped out and you were going to win? Well, the answer is way fewer than you actually remember. Because in general, the vast majority of Supremacy battles are won by fighting, and I can't tell you the number of times I've lost battles because I've had players who take 20 seconds to sit on the cap. So not only are they sitting on the cap, but they have to decelerate, sit on the cap for 20 seconds, and then they have to re-accelerate back up to speed, and then they can get into the fight. And this loses countless more games than not capping bases. In general, if you have base cap advantage, there's no need for you to sit on a base. If your gun is being in that fight, you need to haul your butt over there. Stop worrying about the bases. Base cap is just a tool to force a fight. It's not a way to win the game. So, you can see right here, this STB and this Waffle are about to go down, and the enemy team decides to sit on the A cap. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you give us the time to kill these 2 tanks for free, and then leisurely waltz back into position in the middle? Look at this, they're capping the B cap now. You're going to have the cap advantage soon, because no one's capping C on our team. Why is this necessary? You just put your team A, you're down 2 tanks for base caps. Why is this necessary? And then B, decide to go into the B cap, so you're also giving up good positioning as well. Like, why people place so much emphasis on supremacy base caps just boggles my mind, because it's absolutely unnecessary. Now, like, because they've decided to sit on the B cap, sit on the A cap, that's 40 seconds that those guns have been out of the game, that they haven't been able to get into position, and they haven't been able to do some damage to make up for us killing 2 of their teammates. Like, if they had just pulled their butts back over, like, to this middle area, they could have trapped us in that C cap. But instead, they decided, oh yeah, we're just gonna sit on the base caps for 40 seconds. Oh yeah, like, great tactical choices, guys. And this is what I just find absurd about supremacy. So many people think, oh man, you gotta get the base caps if you want to win. No, that's a Carl play. Like, don't be Carl and don't sit on supremacy base caps. Just please. And like, really, I'd like to thank the enemy team for this one, because they gifted me a pretty solid game here. This one ends up being like 6k damage, I think, and I might actually have to save this one for a future IS-7 guide. But yes, just please don't cap bases. Like, it's really unnecessary most of the time, and it's usually much better to have your gun in the game for those 20 seconds, to be relocating for better positions, especially if you already have base cap advantage. Now, this isn't to say that you should never cap bases. Like, obviously, if like the 2 teams are going opposite directions, and like that 20 seconds isn't going to be useful, you should hop on the cap, obviously. But more often than not, it's probably to your benefit, like, to get your gun in the game for those 20 seconds instead of sitting on a base cap. Coming in at number 2, we have following the lemming train, and also calling directions, which is pretty much related. So today, like, everyone, like, people are like constantly giving directions at the start of the battle. It's like left, right, dunes, town, hill, whatever. Even 40%ers are doing it. And common wisdom is like, oh, you shouldn't split up at the start of a battle. And honestly, like, that's not really the right play at this point in Blitz's development. Like, this advice and kind of like this general tactic of 7 tanks going in one direction as an armored fist just comes from like a period in Blitz where like a lot of the maps had like singular, like really overpowered positions, kind of like Old Winter Malnovka, Old Mines. Those are good examples of just like one spot just dominating the whole map where you did want 7 tanks going in one direction. But these days, especially with like supremacy mode and also like flatter map design, like, it's really not a good idea to get 7 tanks going in one direction. You lose a ridiculous amount of map control for it. And also, like, in addition, like, 7 tanks isn't actually that good at killing things, like, in one armored fist. Like, even in competitive games, you'll rarely see, like, even in, like, pro teams, they won't send all 7 tanks in one direction unless it's, like, just an all-out rush. They're expecting to catch someone out. And the reason for this is because the defending side has a significant advantage, because the defending side will get shots in on the approach, and especially if they have autoloaders and big TDs, like there are plenty of nowadays, like, trying to attack into that is going to get shut down. And you can see, like, in this battle, they basically just gave me the entire, like, medium side of this map for free, so I can just take easy shots at them from this completely open area. They're in a crossfire, and like, where do they go? They can't really push into my team. Like, they've tried that, and they've taken significant losses for it already, as you can see. And like, this is basically just giving me like the easiest 6k damage game of my life here. And this is really why, like, I don't care how good you think you are. Like, you really shouldn't be calling directions, in all honesty, unless like it's to get 1 or 2 tanks to go in the direction that you want. Because the last thing you want is like 7 tanks all going in one direction, because you will find yourself out of options very quickly. And so like, and then like furthermore, like when it comes to like a game meta sort of thing, like even the 40%ers have picked it up. So like, a lot of people will like complain now when someone makes the wrong call. Like, if calling weren't a thing back in the day, you wouldn't have the 40%ers calling town and ruining the game for like 6 other players. So really, you like, unless you really need someone to go with you, you should probably just keep your mouth shut. Because the last thing you want is just 7 tanks going in one direction. As you can see, again, like, easiest game of my life here. Just have, like, I just got a free farm on that 57 heavy at the beginning of this battle. So just please don't call directions, and please don't follow the lemming train. It's not a good idea. It's even if you have just 1 or maybe just 2 tanks on one flank, it's always better to at least have that sort of map control. And like, if you play it well, you can either, like, if if the enemy has more tanks than you stacked up, then you can at least pretend like you have a team behind you, or you can at least bleed them out, hold them, and hold the enemy in place while your team takes better positions. So that is basically my rant on why you shouldn't have 7 tanks going in one direction. Of course, like just like the last one, there are going to be exceptions. For example, Port Bay and Middleburg, I guess, are still exceptions, but that's purely because you can't get crossfires from like different sides, and also like one side is still ridiculously dominant. You can't really rotate between the two sides. But for the vast majority of instances, you really shouldn't be calling directions. Finally, the last sacred cow we're going to be slaying in this list is side scraping. Yes, the basic tactic that everyone tells you to learn when you first get into this game. And quite honestly, you should unlearn it because side scraping just might be the worst way to avoid damage in this game. Unless you're driving a super heavy like the E75, the E100, or the Mouse, bar those 3 tanks, you really shouldn't be side scraping because it is so many issues with it. So like number 1 is it's super easy to over angle. Like take this T-34 for instance, side scraping, bang, easy 470 damage shot into a side. Also, side scraping gives the enemy the initiative because you've got to take the time to set up the side scrape, pull out slowly, and this whole time the enemy can just take aim at your weak spot. So like these side scraping, bang, that's like 700 damage into the turret. And moreover, like, they don't even need to take careful aim. Like, they can just shoot you with HE, just like that. Bang, 300 damage into the side. Doesn't even matter. And also, like, side scraping in general just loses you games. So, like, for example, like, in this clip, it's a 2v2 here. But, like, you'll see at the end of the game, someone loses because they make the decision to side scrape. So, like, this is a pretty close game. That Object 140 is down to low HP, but, like, anyway, back to the topic on side scraping. Like, there's just so many ways to deal with it. Like, you can just shoot them a lot of the time because they're over-angling. You can fire HE, you can use heat ammunition. If you're in a fast tank, you can just push past them. Like, you choose to push past them, like, they won't be in a position to react. Like, they'll have their side armor towards you, and like they'll have to turn because if you rush them, like the side scraping tank is just done for. Like there's just so many flaws with side scraping. It's really only effective if like your tank fully relies on it, like the Mouse or possibly the E100. But even then, like, why would you needlessly expose your tank to fire when you can just go completely safe? There's so many better ways to bait shots. Like just like go around the corner with your front at an angle. That's honestly a better play. So like, anyway, like, for this game on hand, like, you can see I'm being a little sneaking, hiding behind this ridge. The C-50M tries to flank me, that's 1, now it's a 1v1, so we're both on a 1 shot. So really this next shot is going to be the deciding factor in the game, and looks like our E-50M friend is trying to side scrape, and we put a heat shell through the side of his tank, and he loses the game, and he's like, what just happened? Because that's what happens when you side scrape. And also, just good reason why heat ammunition is also best ammunition, but that's a story for another day. And that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If I made you rethink your common battle tactics and your general mindset, then I feel like I've done my job here. Hopefully I've made you question some things. And if you disagree with me, which you probably do, feel free to rage at me in the comments. I do read all the comments. I actually get a notification on my phone every time someone comments, and I get like 4 comments a video, so yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and bye.